Lugari MP for Lugari. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for affording me this opportunity. And Mr. Speaker, being my maiden speech, I expect 10 minutes. I want, first of all, to congratulate you, Mr. Speaker, for finding yourself on the Speaker's panel, and congratulate Senator Wetangula for being elected the Speaker of this House. I also want to take opportunity to congratulate my colleagues who are here with me for being voted in to be members of the 13th Parliament. I would like to congratulate my people of Lugari for giving me an opportunity to serve as their member of National Assembly. Equally, Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate my party and the party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, for staying the course of change, for staying the course of democracy, for ensuring that this country is reaping the fruits of devolution. Mr. Speaker, whereas we are here celebrating democracy, I come from a constituency that has been discriminated. In 2008, the then President Mwai Kibaki laid a foundation to tarmac a road, C42, that comes from Tarbo to Sekhendu. To date, no single point of a kilometer has been tarmacked. I come from a constituency, Mr. Speaker, that in 1992, the then President Moi gave people land together with the people of Manzini, but the people of Lugari are still staying as squatters as that land has not been gazetted from the forest. That is how unfair this government has been to the people of Lugari. Mr. Speaker, looking at the list we have been provided with today of nominees, I first of all want to congratulate the committee. But I find fault in the following: that we have been provided with a list of nominees that goes contrary to the Constitution of Kenya. I cannot see a youth in that list. I cannot see a person with disability in that list. Mr. Speaker, if we become a house to rubber stamp things that we know constitutionally are wrong, history is going to charge us. Mr. Speaker, when I look at that list, and I'm looking at my fellow members of Parliament of female gender, contributing here, supporting a name of a person who attempted to get carnal knowledge of a woman without her consent, I cry. Mr. Speaker, when I look at that list, Mr. Speaker, as I look at that list and I see people glorifying a nominee simply because she came from a humble background.
What's your point
How
of
many
order?
of these people come from a humble background?
Order. This is the maiden speech of Honorable Nabi.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you,
and
Mr.
it shall be
Speaker.
heard in silence. Order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
I proceed, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Honorable members, order, please. Honorable member, could you take your seat? Proceed, Honorable Nabi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to comment on one Aisha Jumwa. Mr. Speaker, I've seen a copy of an affidavit of a poor woman, a poor Kenyan, whom the nominee grabbed the land, and here we are talking about Oh, she came from a humble background. What about that poor woman whose land has been taken? What do we do with that woman? Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I'm pained today that this House is debating a list that has somebody with 35 cases. The question of integrity goes beyond being proven guilty or innocent. It is a question of conscience. It is a question of perception. Surely, what are we going to tell our children? That a person, when we had so many millions of Kenyans who didn't have cases, the best we could get is a person with 35 cases? I cry. I cry. This nation, my brothers, yes, we can howl, we can shout, but I can tell you, tomorrow we look you into the eye and tell you that you voted for a person who is criminally conflicted. Mr. Speaker, that does not mean we don't have good people on that list. I support vehemently the nomination of one Murkomen, a legal mind, a man who understands what he really wants to do for this country, a man who demonstrated his vision of what the transport sector should be. That is what we want to see. I want to support when I see a lady like Wahome, somebody who can demonstrate what she's thinking about in terms of water. But can we say that of that one Malonza? My answer is no. If you cannot demonstrate the vision you have, then you do not know what you want to go and do. As a HR expert, I want to tell you this. The reason we have face-to-face interview is for you to tell us what you can do. If you can't demonstrate, you will not make other people do it. You don't know it. How will you make others do it? I want to urge my colleagues, a cabinet is beyond community. Because if we were to talk about our tribes, then I don't see a Tachoni there. Then I don't see an Ogiek there. It is about Kenya. So I'm urging our colleagues who are retreating to tribal cocoons to desist that. We are looking for a cabinet that will help the president deliver. All of us, on both sides, we agree that we want a working nation. We want a working country. We want an effective cabinet. So please, as we look at these names, we need to ask the question, if I looked at you in the eye, would you meet the Caesar's transpose? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.